I do have some closing comments. I wanted to just respond, Madam Chair, to what you just said about an increase in the VA budget. I agree, there has been an increase in that budget. There's also been an increase in the community care budget. So the issue is the community care budget is increasing at a more rapid pace than the VA. So I want to put that sort of fact out there. But the way I want to kind of conclude today's comments is to respond to Dr. Murphy, and I think Dr. Dexter actually did a very good job of responding to some of the things that he was saying. He talked about he was tired of talking about an either-or scenario. And he said we need to get to, I believe what he said was yes and. So I agree with him, yes and. And I think what Dr. Dexter was saying, we shouldn't, we shouldn't have a binary choice, an either-or choice, but the community care should be an extension of the VA care, which in my mind is the yes and scenario. So the point I'm trying to make, and I think Dr. Dexter made the point with regards to, one pot of resources can only go so far, and we've got to make those choices. The other issue I want to make here is the chart is behind me, is this data that I have here is VA data. It's not anybody else's data. It comes directly from the VA. And what it says is that from 2022 to 2023, there was a net gain of employees of a little bit more than 18,000 employees. From the next bar chart is from 2023 to 2024. The net gain for employees was almost 14,000 people, excuse me. The last bar chart here is 2024 to 2025. This shows that there's a net loss of a little over 10,000 employees. So what I see here is a trajectory going in a direction that's not going to be good relative to what quality care looks like at the VA. So I just believe that as the workforce at the VA continues to decline, I think as the data shows, and again, this is VA data, it will absolutely begin to limit the choice a veteran should have, whether they want to get their care at the VA or whether they want to get their care in the community. And we will get to a point, I'm not saying we're going to get there today or tomorrow, but we could get there to a point where a veteran will only have one choice, and that will be to go to the community for their care. And I think it is very clear, and the data is very clear about this, that veterans want to receive their care at the VA. Now, if you're a female veteran, you've got to go out to the community if you're pregnant and you've got to go out to the community to get your care. And you should have your choice of providers when you go to the community care. So, but generally, veterans want to get their care at the VA because they believe they have more quality time with the doctor, they believe that they understand the veteran better, et cetera. So this is just the point that I'm trying to make, that we don't want to go down this road. Secondarily, what is a concern with regards to community care is the impact of a $1 trillion cut to Medicaid. And I mentioned in my opening comments, the University of North Carolina has identified 338 rural hospitals at risk for closure. One of the main reasons why we started the Mission Act and moved towards community care was for rural areas. And if these community hospitals are going to have to shut down because of lack of resources, there's not going to be a choice. And the only choice then will be the VA, but then yet we're People are resigning, people are retiring, people are leaving because it's just not a healthy place to work, and they're not going to be able to provide the resources. So this is what the point that I'm trying to get across. The point, I think, we're trying to avoid a deterioration of the VA, and we don't want to deteriorate community care either. But we've got, as I said so many times in these hearings, we've got to find the right balance here. But I worry about this chart, and I think the chairwoman said at the beginning, this is just normal attrition, what's going on at the VA. This is not normal attrition. With that, I will yield back. Thank you, Madam Chair.